everyone, it's Synth Designer back again with another video. Today we're continuing our Chillwave Essentials series, and I'm going to talk about how I created this really detuned pad from my newest song called Expressions. Now if you like this video and the pad sound design, check out my newest preset pack called Chill Vibes Volume 2. You'll be able to find this preset along with 30 other cool chill presets. You could get it at synthdesigner.com. No signups required. Now there's a few elements here. I use Serum here, but there's a bunch of third-party applications that really kind of give it that sound. But first, let's take a look at how I created it in Serum and some of the thought process behind it here. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. It doesn't have tons of elements here. You can see the reverb is actually off because I'm using different reverbs in this through third parties, but let's listen to it on its own. So it has a nice warm vintage sound to it, right? So let's take a look at how we create this. First, let's look at it through here. I'm going to turn off a couple elements here just to make sure we have just the kind of Serum sound for now. So we're going to turn off all of these. As you can hear, it still has a nice warmth to it. And it really has that analog feel, and that comes from a couple things. So as you can see, we have this one oscillator here, which is the MS saw, which is from the analog wavetables. Not much movement. Actually, none at all. It has 4 voices of unison. It's really cut off on the filter here. And then just a simple envelope here for envelope 1. And then envelope 2, it has that very subtle opening up at the very beginning, but that's it. Then the LFO is really what gives a lot of character. So LFO 1 here, the level gives it a tremolo effect. So remember, when you attach a LFO to the level, that is essentially the tremolo. So volume going up and down at this rate here. Then LFO2 here is really what gives it a special character. And so we'll have to go to the matrix here. We have LFO2, turn to the master tune. Very subtly here, just to 2. And as you can see, it's really subtly just moving over a 4-bar. That gives it that slight detunement, which is what analog kind of synthesizers really have. It has a detune amount and it's kind of unstable, right? And that's what gives it an unstable factor here. And it kind of gives us that warmth to it. Now, I did some EQing here, taking out the lows. As you can see, the EQ actually is on the effects as well. So I have the lows already cut out, but I just wanted to make sure because it's in the context of the song. I have some compression here, very, very subtle compression. Then I have isotope trash 2. Now I don't even have this very high in the mix, but this is where you're getting a lot of that distorted detunement. You want to be careful with distortion with pads because every time you hit multiple notes, that's going to give you multiple amounts of distortion. Here I kept it super simple. I kept it on the very first default. I really like how this sounds already. It's just a nice subtle kind of amount here. Again, that's because it's lower in the mix. Then to give it more detunement, I actually have Chow Tape Model, and I love this plugin, Chow Tape Model. There's a few things here that I use, but mostly I focus on this flutter sync. Off, on. And this degrading kind of amount as well, as you can see here. So the cool thing is it just adds kind of a like just some degrading kind of characteristic. I added some saturation and this flutter sync, which really is just coupled with that isotope trash distortion, really giving it just that amazing old school feel. Really starting to feel like it's coming from almost vinyl record, right? Then I have the imager here, Ozone Imager 2, giving it a lot more width. Turn this off. As you can hear, it's really up, kind of up the middle with some stereo elements. And now it's really just giving that extra boost. And that's about it. So remember, when you're creating kind of these detuned pads, you really want to think about several elements, and that's how can we make it sound a little bit more analog? When you're getting it to sound analog, remember in Serum you can add an LFO that to the master tune that gives it that kind of unstable element. Give it some saturation, kind of start off subtle, keep adding some. You could do different types of saturation. You could do tube distortion, traditional kind of tape saturation, whatever. I used isotope trash, but you don't have to. You could use a lot of different synth native distortions or third-party plugins, whatever. I really highly recommend using Chow Tape Model. You can also use vinyl, which I've shown in previous videos. Those are all great elements. And most of all, if you really enjoyed listening to this, check out my newest song called Expressions. You can find it on all the streaming services out there. Check out the description for more information, and be on the lookout. I'm going to give a complete tutorial on how to create this song from scratch, including going over some more details about this synthesizer and this preset. There's really a bunch of cool elements that I've used in this song, and a lot of them are from my preset packs. Again, go to synthdesigner.com where you can get them all for free. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.